Hello friends, welcome to another vlog. It was so awesome talking to you guys in the comments. I am still catching up with comments, so I haven't gotten to you. By the time this video goes out, I should have gotten to you. But it was really nice to meet so many new faces, and that's awesome, and to hear about all your thoughts on things. Some of the things that you guys were suggesting for this Hogwarts Express Bustle dress are awesome. They may not be something I'm gonna do, but I was like, wow, that's imaginative. So yeah, for sure. I was very impressed with all the things that you guys were suggesting. I think this week I'm gonna work on the overskirt because I have the pattern and I have the fabric, and I think I probably want to go pick out some fabric for the lining for the bodice, so I'm trying to figure out what that would be exactly. I can't figure out if I want to just do like a linen lining. A lot of times I line in just straight muslin, so I will take the mock-up that I make and make it the lining, but I'm not really sure what's going to happen with this one, so I need to look at the pattern and see how the lining goes in before I make that kind of decision. So I think I want to let myself have the time to do that. So I'm going to work on the overskirt first. I don't know if I will trim it this week, but I'm definitely going to make it, so that's something. Let's talk about mail, because I got a cool piece of mail today. Ooh, I got this delineator from October of 1888. And I didn't really realize that this was made by Butterick, which tells you how old Butterick is. But these magazines are absolutely gorgeous. They are porn. They're very delicate, so you have to be super gentle with them. Would you like to know how to honeycomb smock? Like right here in the front page, like page number 2. Like, also check out this typeface. I just love it. How to measure yourself, fantastic. There's a hoodie in here that I really want to make now because I was like, historical hoodie. I am obsessed with historical hoodies. I thought I would just take a minute and show you a bunch of these pages because I was like, what? Like look at that. Look at all this crazy pleating. This is insane. And they describe every detail of it in this magazine. So pretty. I should just do vlogs where I just flip through these. Look at these sleeves, right? Oh, if these sleeves are here, that means the hoodie is back farther. Here's my historical hoodie. First of all, the stripes. Second of all, this hat. Third of all, look at the hoodie. How amazing is that? Just give you some more glimpses of what's in here. There's the other shot. So this is what the front of it looks like. And that is what the hoodie looks like. I'm just like, hi, can I have that? Thanks. Where do I get this pattern? You have to figure it out yourself, Noelle, is the answer to that. And as Noelle, I don't love that answer. Look at that jacket. I am a jacket person. Like, I love me. One of the reasons I really like the Victorian era is because these bodices are basically jackets, and that makes me super happy. Like, they are thick and heavy. I like how they detail and describe this fabric here with the picture. Some moire. This guy. Yes, with the buttons. I'm into it. And it goes into a whole bunch of like kids patterns, but there's stuff in the kids patterns that I thought was like super cute too. Look at this like tartan dress with like, can adults wear this? Can I make this an adult size? Because that'd be cool. There's a hoodie. Hoodie. Anyway, I need to read this, like actually physically sit down and read it. But I was just looking through it when I got it and I was dazzled by it and wanted to show it to you guys. Like what? There's like a harlequin in here for your entertainment purposes. I would like to get the delineator as a magazine that comes to my house every month. I would subscribe. Please sign me up for your newsletter. I would like, look at these boots. Those magazines are really expensive on eBay. They're like $35 for a magazine. It's crazy. But, I mean, it is a 152-year-old magazine, so maybe it's not that crazy. But if anybody knows where to get delineators for much cheaper, I would like to do that. There's also, sometimes they have them bound where the entire year is bound into one book. I kind of want to investigate that option. I kind of want to investigate that option, but I have to look into it a little bit more. And if anybody knows where to get like bulk delineators, I'm really only looking for 1870s and 1880s. Like I would like to get all of them from those years, but I'll take whatever I can get. So that would be really awesome. If anybody knows, let me know. I'm really shocked that they don't have those like fully digitized. It's not like Butterick doesn't have access to them and couldn't just scan them or do whatever you need to do to get those in. I wasn't terrified of ruining that. I would probably attempt to scan that whole thing in so that it was like capable of being looked at without ruining it and touching it all the time and stuff. Like, I don't know, but I'm gonna read it. Anyway, this week we are doing this overskirt, which is the Truly Victorian TV 304 1875 square overskirt. That is going on top of an 1885 skirt and an 1885 bodice, but here we are doing the thing anyway because this is effectively a cosplay. So I really like this guy and I thought it was neat looking. And then I realized this thing has a crazy amount of instructions when I started looking at it. Like, it's that whole page. I have never seen an overskirt have this level of instructions. Like, one instruction right here, number 24, has steps A through G to it. So, I mean, to be fair, that is the pocket, which I think is a fan pocket, which I am for sure going to do. So I need to read these instructions, largely because this is tissue taffeta. For those of you who don't know what tissue taffeta is, it just means it's extra thin. So it's very thin silk taffeta. So I was trying to figure out if I should back it with some red silk organza, which I do have red and black, like shot silk organza that I could put behind this. That would definitely firm it up. But when I was looking at this, it has facings, so I can't tell if the facings are going to be enough or if I should assume that I should flatline it or what. So I want to read through these instructions for sure. And another thing that helps me when I'm not really sure what's going on is to go ahead and cut out the pattern. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. That's the ultimate goal for tonight, is to read through this, get a plan, cut out the pattern, make sure the pattern pieces are all good and that I feel comfortable with the making of, and then go forth and make this overskirt. Alright, so the pattern is all cut out and ready to go. And now I'm just mulling a few things over before I cut fabric, and I will show you what those are. Alright, so the first question is, do I want this back poof here to be red, like the rest of it? This entire thing is going to be red. Or do I want to let this be, and the ties be black? I think I kind of want to make the ties be black and then use gold to mimic railroad tracks on them. So I think I'm going to go ahead and cut these in black. I think I kind of want to put this in black, but I'm not positive. So I'm just sitting here mulling it over. The second question is, this is tissue taffeta, so it's really very lightweight. And that's actually totally fine. But I do have this organza. And I know it looks purple, but it's actually red. And it looks fine on top of this fabric, so that's fine. It would be underneath anyway, almost no one would ever see it. So I'm trying to figure out if I want to flatline this with this silk organza to give it just a little bit more body. I know that I'm going to do that with these poofs because I think it'll help them stay poofier if I flatline, and I'm just trying to figure out if I'm going to do the rest of it in the same. Alright, I've talked to Constance. We think yes to the black poof and tails with tracks on them. We also think yes to lining it with silk organza, so I'm going to do that. That is what's going to happen. It's happening. tomorrow. And I got all the fabric cut out yesterday, which is more than I expected, so woo woo, small victory. I'm super excited about that. And now we get to the part where I'm going to talk to you guys about the two things that are never in patterns. So for those of you who know what you're doing, you're going to nod along, and for those of you who are new to sewing, you're going to be like, okay, so they don't talk to you about fabric prep, and they don't talk to you about seam finishes, because those two things are based on your own life choices. Can you follow the pattern and just start sewing right now? Absolutely. You can totally do that if you want to. But I've made two life choices just now that are going to make me spend a whole lot of time doing some fabric prep today. The first thing that I have chosen to do is flatline some pieces of my skirt with some silk organza, which means I need to flatline them, which is going to take me a while, because one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to try doing a bunch of tacking stitches down to hold the fabric together before I sew the edges together, so that I hopefully get less bubbles. I mean, that's a thing that happens when you flatline, you get bubbles. There are ways to avoid it, and I've shown some of them in some of my videos, but I'm going to try a new to me method, which is to baste the crap out of them. The second life choice that I have made is to not live in silk fraying hell. And that is why I always go through and zigzag all my edges, because I don't like edges fraying all over the place constantly. I have barely touched this and it's already started fraying. Like, this silk will just fray and fray and fray, and as soon I will have like a ½ inch fringe here. Like, that just happens. And you lose some of your fabric that way, so I don't like that. So I go around and zigzag all the edges to all my things. So I'm going to spend a big chunk of today doing that. So that's my mission today, is to prep my fabric and make it ready for sewing. So I said that, and then I immediately put my camera down and went to Joann because I needed to go to Joann. I kind of needed thread, so I went to go get thread for this project. That matched better than the thread I had, but really what I needed was lining fabric, because I realized I never remember about lining fabric. This is how I always have muslin lining. So I wanted to get some lining fabric for the bodice part, and I found this. So it's amazing and absolutely perfect. It has the Hogwarts Express, it has Hogwarts, it has trunks, it has tickets, and platform 9 3/4 medallions. So I am pumped. I also found a little bit of yardage of a Ravenclaw, so I bought that while I was there. And then I sat down and watched YouTube for like 2 hours and ate some dinner. And dinner consisted of literally Tostitos and chips and salsa and sour cream and black beans. Is that a healthy dinner for an adult? No, it is not, but that is what I ate. So getting back to it now. Oh, I did buy too much thread. Oh my god, look at my thread problem. I had to move large spools of thread so that I could put more. This is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous, folks. I thread matched all of the colors of stuff that I had at the time when COVID started. But then I keep making projects where I'm not using that fabric, so cool. Okay, so I have it pad stitched down, as you can see. It's not really pad stitch, it's just like a weird basting stitch that looks like a pad stitch, but now I'm gonna actually just baste along the edge here so that they stay together on the edge, and that should keep it fairly bubble free. I'm gonna leave these stitches in until the very last minute when the dress is created and take them out once it's all done. I have 2 of these to do, and then that giant piece, which is folded in half currently underneath it. So, whew, I'm gonna be doing this all night. And we have the second one done. So now I'm gonna go hit up that giant one. That giant thing is a pattern piece, and it's folded in half. So, oy. So this is what I'm talking about. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's definitely not going to keep all the bubbles out, but I think I can eliminate some of them with this method. So I'm just going to run a bunch of these tracks down this thing, and I might be doing some of this tomorrow. We'll see. But yeah, fun times. All right, so I have it halfway done and also basted along the edges, but not the top edge yet. So I'm going to do the rest tomorrow because it's like 4 o'clock in the morning and I would like to sleep. So see you guys then. Today's weird. Today is really weird. California's on fire. So just to be clear, California burns every year, and in fact it's part of our ecosystem. It is supposed to burn. We have plants that do not spread their seeds until fire happens, like the redwoods do that. So It is supposed to burn, but it's getting worse and worse and worse every year because of course we are you know, in a drought constantly, and we are encroaching into wildlife habitats more and more, so like people's houses get more and more close to where wildfires are and stuff, so it becomes a bigger and bigger deal. I mean, obviously you don't want to just let a fire rage constantly, but they are ecologically normal for us. But yeah, the air quality index is garbage, and it's a stressful time because everyone's really worried about their home. And like, my house is the last house on my street before it's a county park, so if that hill next to me starts burning, my house is the first one it will come to. So, you know, little stressful here and there. Cool. Anyway, so I am here today to finish up the basting down of the flat lining for this gigantic overskirt. It's like the entire overskirt. I want to call it the front panel. There is back poofs, but that front panel is the entire thing, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Again, this is not something that was covered in the instructions, so I've spent now 2 of my days stitching this thing down, and I haven't even started sewing the actual thing yet, which is just crazy. So you can't always judge how long something's gonna take based on the instructions. You have to like add in your own neurotic needs while you're at it. So a little insight into this process. Each one of these rows is like a column that I worry about, because I don't know if you're gonna be able to see this, but like as I have done this one, this is my new starting place. As I roll my hand over this to smooth it out, you can see that top layer is bubbling, right? You can see it right there. So I actually need to work that out some. So I don't work it out all the way to the edge each time. I just work it out that far so it stays stable, and then move to the next section. Because if you try to do this much at once, you get all wonky. Just trust me, you do small chunks. So that's what I'm gonna do, is sit here and fiddle with this until both layers are super flat, and then pin it down and sew it, and then move on to the next one. Okay, that's all done and re-ironed. So I'm gonna go stitch the edges of all the other pieces of cloth that I have to stitch, and then we can start on actually sewing this. Okay, so everything is now zigzagged and looking slightly frumpier for it, but that's okay. It's not gonna fray anymore. So I'm gonna go ahead and start sewing and start doing as much of this as I possibly can tonight, because I would love to crank this out somewhat quickly, but who knows how long this will take. We shall see. So this apron has facings. You can see it right here. I've attached it, and I need to flip over the edge 1/2 inch and then flip the entire thing over and then hem stitch it. And I do that by hand because it makes it more invisible, so that is likely to dust me for the entire evening. I'm not really sure why there's facings in here, but if they think there needs to be facings, there does need to be facings. I will also say that, so this is regular silk taffeta, and this is tissue taffeta. This is alright, but when they tell you it's tissue taffeta, it is tissue taffeta. It's so thin compared to that one. I would rather be working with that fabric. So next time I would probably search longer and harder for a regular taffeta. Okay, so those are both in and hemmed down. I'm thinking the next thing we have to do is do the hem, so I might start this process, although I don't know if I'll finish it because it's 3:30, so I might like get it started, but we'll see how it goes. Alrighty, we have a lovely hem installed at this point. And now I'm going to do something that I would never recommend to you guys, which is I'm going to completely ignore this instruction to trim the apron as desired. So they're telling you to trim the apron now because it's going to be a pain in the butt to do it later. And they want to make sure you have a nice flat surface, and if you want to use your sewing machine to go ahead and put the trim on, you can do that now, etc, etc, etc. Which, it's a great idea, and I would love to be able to trim it right now, but I don't have trim ready. I'm not totally sure what I'm gonna do. I mean, I have a pretty good idea, but I want to just get this base apron done first. So I'm gonna ignore that. I do not recommend you do that. I'm probably gonna get done with this and be like, damn, I wish I put that trim on when it was flat. So I think it'd probably be a lot easier. However, I'm gonna carry on as I am right now and go ahead and just finish the apron first and then worry about the trim in some other video. Alright friends, we have 2 pieces of good news and we have 1 piece of bad news. So I'm going to give you a bad news sandwich because I like to end on a positive. So usually I'm a bad news first kind of person, but I have a piece of good news that can go before that, so I'm going to give it to you. So the piece of good news is that today we hit 20,000 subscribers on this channel and I am like, okay, cool, that's awesome. So I bought myself a piece of cake. I paid $20 to have it delivered to me from the Cheesecake Factory so that I could have cake on this day, because that's kind of a big deal. Like 20,000 people is a huge thing. Like, go us. That's awesome. Okay, so the bad news is California is on fire, like the whole state. But specifically the Bay Area is on fire, and there are 2 really big fires that are not very far from my house. I am perfectly safe, so let me just start with that. I have not been asked to evacuate, but this is the start of a long season of fires that happen in California, and I am the last house before the county park. So I've spent the last day and a half, so it's a day and a half later, packing go bags for me and 7 cats and my husband, because we need to be prepared. And we need to be prepared not just for now, because we might get evacuated now. It's several miles away, but there's also lightning storms predicted for tonight, so we don't really know what's going on, and we won't know until whatever happens happens. So the second piece of great news that has happened is that I did indeed get that sponsorship I was telling you about. So this video is kindly sponsored by Acorn TV. I'm super pumped about this because I love British television, I love Irish television, and I love Australian television, and all 3 of those are packed to the gills in Acorn TV. There's like thousands of hours of awesome television there, and some feature movies. So I'm really excited about it. I've been watching it for a couple weeks and I think it's really fantastic. It's only $5.99 a month, which is a fantastic price, and it is packed with stuff that I really am interested in watching. My friend Hannah really wants me to start engaging more, is what I would say, with Agatha Christie. We keep having these really funny discussions about it. Anyway, there's lots of Agatha Christie on there. So I thought, in order to calm myself down from the like mild anxiety of all the stuff that's going around me, I would go ahead and make myself a playlist of awesome stuff to watch on Acorn, and I thought I would take you guys with me so you can also get a look at what's on there. And if you're interested, you too can escape to Britain and beyond without ever leaving your seat. All you have to do to get a free trial of 30 days is to go to acorn.tv and use my promo code COSTUMINGDRAMA. Alright, so I first came to see what's already in my watch list, and I already started watching the other one, and it's absolutely hysterical. If you're a fan of quirky British comedy, then the other one is an absolute must watch. It follows 2 sisters who are completely different from each other, and they have no idea that the other person exists until their dad dies. And for people who really like Downton Abbey, Siobhan Finneran is in this, and she is absolutely hysterical, and I can't recommend this enough. All right, let's go see what's in other parts of this. All right, the first thing I see here is Midsummer Murders, and I've always wanted to watch this show. It's on IMDb all over the place. Everybody who's anybody who's a British actor has been on this show at one point or another, so I'm definitely going to add that to my watch list. Been wanting to see what's going on there. Miss Fisher, The Crypt of Tears, I already actually started watching, and I am about halfway through it, and it is so far feeding my Miss Fisher needs. Definitely going to add the Miss Fisher Murder Mysteries in here because that is a great show and I would love to do a rewatch of that. Doc Martin is also something I have always wanted to see, so I'm going to go ahead and add that guy. Let's go into the period dramas next and see what's there, because I do love me a period drama. Ooh, these look really great. Bomb Girls looks awesome. I'm going to add that for sure. And I don't know what this Miss Fisher's Modern Mysteries is, but that looks like fun. What's really great about this is you can watch this on like Apple TV, you can watch it on your Amazon Fire, your Google Chromecast, your Roku, like basically any kind of streaming system you have, you can watch these. Ooh, my friend Constance said that this Agatha Christie and Then There Were None was really good, so I'm definitely going to add that. Hi Constance, if you're watching. Whole Dark is one of my favorites. War and Peace, been wanting to see this guy also. Ooh, and the Agatha Christie hour. Wow, there is so much stuff on here that I would really, really enjoy watching. I cannot wait to dig into this. In fact, it's a great thing to watch while you're sewing. Ooh, The Great Train Robbery, that also looks great. This will meet all my Agatha Christie needs for Hannah's demand that I watch more Agatha Christie. All right, we're gonna go over to Mystery and see what's there. Ooh, Jack Irish looks good. Definitely gonna be adding that. Ooh, Paul Bettany. I'm just gonna add this. I don't even care what this is about. It's got Paul Bettany in it. I'm in it. I love Paul Bettany. Looks like baby Paul Bettany too. All right, let's see what's in their documentaries. Ooh, At Home with the Georgians. I'm so excited. This is definitely a thing that's gonna happen. Ooh, Bollywood. Yes. Let's watch that. All right, guys, I am so excited to be sponsored by Acorn TV. I have so much awesome stuff to watch now. I cannot wait to get through all this stuff. And there's so much more that I didn't even start looking at. So I can't wait to sit down and dig into all of that. I'm not going to say this is the first time this has happened, but it doesn't happen very often. I've walked in here and I started sewing. And I didn't even think about vlogging, which is dumb. So currently I'm working on the back poofs. It's literally just sewing pieces together and sewing them down. So, and like right now I'm working on the tails. I'm just following the instructions as they go. So I'm gonna keep working on those and see how far I can get today. My mission is to maybe try and finish this today if I possibly can. I don't know. We'll see how it goes, but it would make me fairly happy if I could do that because I would like to get this vlog out, and the vlog needs to be reviewed, so it's going to take a couple extra days. So I would like to get it done now if possible. Anyway, if anything interesting comes up, I'll let you know. But right now, it's just follow the directions. Okay, I'm working on the back poofs. You basically just take a giant piece of fabric and pleat it onto a tiny piece of fabric, which is what's happening here. But putting it through the sewing machine was making it just catch all kinds of things that didn't need to be caught up in the back, and it became, I just decided to hand baste it because it's faster. So for once, hand sewing is faster and less of me using this, which I did twice already. So that's what's happening currently. And I'm just gonna keep working on this and hopefully get somewhere productive soon. So that's what the butt poof is supposed to look like. And this is what it actually looks like. And like, okay. Alright. Maybe when it gets on the bustle, it'll look better. Right now it looks like a weird, I don't know. I have bad words to use for this. We'll see. Let me put it onto the skirt and find out. It's like 4:30 in the morning though. I just got distracted with a call. The awesome thing about being up in the middle of the night constantly is that like your friends in Amsterdam are awake and they are perfectly willing to have a 2-hour Zoom discussion with you at 2 o'clock in the morning because it's not 2 o'clock in the morning for them. So yeah, I get distracted in the middle of the night a lot. Anyway, I think I should probably like stop working on this. I was hoping to get it done today, but that's not happening. Maybe tomorrow? Maybe. We'll see. I don't know. I don't even know if I'm going to put the pocket on there. I think I'm actually going to save that till I trim it and find out if I want to put the pocket on there. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Good news, friends. Our red alert about the lightning storms potentially threatening the Bay Area has been called off. So, whoop-oo. So we just have to deal with the fires that are currently raging, but it's very, like less likely that we'll get more. So, whew, relief on my face right now. You can see it, it's the relief. I need to take, this is the facing piece, and the facing piece is under there, and I should have marked this beforehand. Learn from me, kids, mark your shiz beforehand. And then I need to sew these 2 lines in, so I'm gonna mark them and sew them onto both sides of this, because this space has to get drawn up into 13.5 inches. So they're saying if you have light fabrics, which I do, you can just run gathering threads. If you have heavy fabric, go ahead and make channels and then slide something through there like a ribbon or something. I'm gonna do the second option and make that decision anyway because that feels more stable to me than gathering threads. And I have a long history with gathering threads and it's not a great one. So I'm just gonna choose to take the more safe route. So the actions I need to complete today are doing that on both sides, gathering it up to 13.5 inches, attaching it to the butt piece, and then let me just flippantly say slapping on a waistband. And y'all know how I feel about waistbands. Nightmare. So we'll see how that goes. This one I don't think is gathered anywhere because everything's already gathered. Like that's already been gathered. So I don't think the waistband will need to be gathered. Are you gonna focus? Yeah, okay. So it might be easier. I know I just tempted fate there. I said it on camera too. That was really dumb. Anyway, so I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do those things and see how we go. And then this piece of thing will be done, or you know, wearable, and not trimmed. But we will tackle trimming in some other video later. Soon. Okay, I'm sure a number of you are like, but Noelle, how are you marking this? Because those things are in the middle. Here's what I actually do. I bend the paper and I make these little slits. Can you see them right there? And then I put a dot next to them so I know where they are. And then I pin the whole thing down and I go in with my chalk pencil and I use those little slits to mark where they go, and then I fill it in. So that keeps the integrity of the paper. You could actually cut the whole slit if you wanted to and just draw the whole line. I've done that before, but it kind of like makes the whole thing a little wobbly, and you want this paper to be good for next time you want to cut it out. You could, of course, trace this and make your own template for it and cut it out. Yeah, I don't do that. So I just make these tiny little slits and put a dot next to them so I can find them, because they sort of disappear. Like, I mean, you can't really see them unless you're looking for them. So I'm just going to continue my path and mark them. And the great thing about these is it works from both sides, and you can still kind of, I mean, you probably can. Oh, maybe you can. You can still see the dots and stuff so you know where they are. Ta-da! Now I'll just take a ruler and like connect them. Okay, I've encountered a problem. The order of operations on this is wrong, because they tell you to hem this down, which I have. Like, as you can see, I can't lift this thing up. Before, you would put a ribbon in here, but I don't have access to inside here. So cool. I could like sew something down to the top of this to make a channel, but that just seems really stressful. So I guess I'm gonna do gathering threads, which I'm not real hype about, but here we are. So I'm gonna go do that. All right, welcome to my chaos, folks. So now I have two sides that have been ruffled up to this point. And you just kind of lay this over this, and then you're supposed to stitch it down. And this length of this situation is the same length as this situation, so these two line up together. So I'm gonna do what I hate and hand sew this down, because it is the only, I'm not shoving this through a sewing machine. Like, this is a recipe for disaster. There's ruffles here and pleats here. No, we're good. So I'll just be sitting here, hand sew. This thing is so much more hand sewing than I expected. Like, I'm angry at the amount of hand sewing. Okay, I'm gonna shut up and just do the thing.
Right? So it's just functional.
Peggy's telling me about butt problems that I'm about to have. Everybody, this is Noodle Stitch on the phone with me while I'm sewing this. Okay, so, all right, here we go. There is no bustle under this yet, but I put it on here just so you can see. So the little ruffle thing is here, and that's cute. And then what I'm deeming the butt brain is happening here with the, what will be railroad tracks coming down off of it. So I really just need to throw a waistband on this, and then we are feature complete. I am not sure about the butt brain. Like, it's weird. What she's actually trying to convince me of is, like, once a bustle's in here, it'll be significantly better, but we shall see. Okay, so it's done. This is what it looks like. It looks like it's at a crazy angle, but it's actually not. Can I just tilt the camera and make it not? Yeah, okay. So that's what it looks like. I'm still unconvinced about these butt pops, but I think they're fun, and they kind of look like coal in the coal car of a train. So I'm gonna run with it. That's what's happening. So I'm just gonna pull out all these threads now. Anyway, I'm pretty excited that this is finally done. That was a lot more handwork than I was fully expecting to do, so fun times, but it's done, so that's fantastic. So I'm gonna call this vlog here. There will be definitely a trimming vlog where I trim this guy, because I think that's gonna be a thing that is gonna be a production. So we'll see how that goes. And next I think I don't know if I'm going to work on trim next or if I'm going to just go to the bodice and make my bodice mock-up, so we'll see about that. But we're getting there. 2 things down and go over to here. Anyway, if you are new here, please go down below and leave me a comment and introduce yourself to me so I can find out who you are and tell me like what you're into, where you came from, how you found me, what you like, what you don't like, what's going on in the world. People who aren't new here, please do the usual and leave me how you're doing, what's going on, are you guys reading anything, are you listening to anything, stuff like that. I am Dresden filing still, trying to get through the entire series, including the new one, in preparation for the next new one, although I will have to stop and read whatever the next book is for the book club, probably another book or 2, because we took a long break from recording. I think we took 2 months off and it was too much. Like we wanted to hang out together and it was too long. But we also had COVID in there, so we were both really busy, so it was probably good that we did that, but we don't want to do that again. Anyway, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't, and I will see you very shortly with another vlog. Bye guys!